Hello everyone, Landon Clark here to do an in the bag for the 2025 season, sponsored by Millennium Golf Discs and Bigfoot disc golf shop down in Durant, Oklahoma. I was asked to do an in the bag, and I haven't done one in a long time, so thought it'd be pretty fun. So let's get right into it. I carry Grip AX5 bag. Actually, my dad won it in a raffle and gave it to me, so been using it ever since. Had it for about 3 years, or probably about 2 years now, and it's still the best bag that on the market in my opinion. Let's get into the putters first. So I putt with Omega Big Beads. These are some pretty cool ones. They got team stamps on them. But ever since I found this putter about 4 years ago, I haven't been able to switch off of it. It's just, this ET plastic is just so grippy, and it's not too soft. Like sometimes with ET you get a run where if it's really hot out it'll be a little flimsy, but this ET plastic is it's just really good and stiff, and it just works very well in all conditions of the year, and these are just the putters that go in the most for me, so I use Omega Big Beads. I have one Omega Super Soft. I've used the Omega Super Soft since I started playing disc golf. Actually, it was the first putter I really ever had. I just had found one on a course, an old run, and it's just an all-around great thrower. I use it mostly for jump putts and longer approach bids because it's just got so much glide. You can tell it's very dirty. This is supposed to be white, but it's basically brown. But I think the dirt gives it a nice, good tackiness feel. It's a Omega Super Soft. We've got two throwing putters. They're both the same mold. They're the Omega 4. One's in ET plastic and the other is in the Quantum plastic. You probably guessed Quantum's a little bit more overstable. Throw this more for windy approaches. Don't really throw it forehand, just backhand approaches anywhere, I don't know, sub 280 or so. Anything over that, I'll probably be reaching for a mid-range. If there's a favorable wind, of course, I could probably send the putter a little bit further, but sub 300 shots, what this is for. And I actually recently just put an ET back in the bag because I was looking for something a little bit straighter than the Quantum, and I mean, this fills that spot perfectly. I actually used to putt with this one. I tried to switch off my Omega Big Beads for about 3 months one year in the summer because I was like, I just need to experiment. I was kind of going through a struggle I was struggling with my putting, let's just be honest at that point. And the Omega 4s, they fit that spot for a little bit, and then I went back to the Omega Big Beads, and that relationship just connected again. So these kind of sat on the shelf for a while, but this was just a perfect replacement throwing putter that I really haven't found in a while, because Omega Super Soft, a little bit on the flippy side. If it's windy, this I could still trust in the wind, just to go straight, maybe a little bit of fade. So 2 Omega 4s. Now getting on to the mid ranges. First, I guess they're like hybrid mid range. Call it an approach. I've got 2 Toros. So I'm pretty sure this is a Glow Pro. My friend Isaiah Moreva actually gave it to me a couple weekends ago at the Duncan Hill Climber. It actually just replaced my. I've been a big pig thrower for many years, and the Toro I've found a recent loving for ever since it came out a couple years back, and I just love how consistent and overstable it is. And this is a good beat up version of that. So it'll push straight, or it still fight the wind, of course. It's got that overstable, that mold basically, and I just really enjoy this disc. I mean, ever since they gave it to me, I just thought it had to go in my bag, and there was just one day I made the switch, just took the pig out and put this in. So yeah, the Glow Pro Toro, already freshly beat up from Isaiah. Thank you, Isaiah. And then I have a Metal Flake Champion Toro. I think I have everything right there. This one's got a cool college disc golf stamp on it. I used to bag the Glow Calvin Heimberg Toro, but It just got a little straight after, about 2.5 years of use, and I got this one last year at our tournament down in San Marcos, and about 3 weeks ago I put it in the bag because I actually kind of hid it away in my suitcase and didn't remember that I had it until then, and it's a really cool disc, so I had to put it in. Metal Flake Champion Toro. Now on to the other mid-ranges faster than the approach discs. I carry 5. Because really here in Oklahoma, we're throwing a lot more. I'm throwing a lot more fairway driver shots than I am mid-ranges. Starting off, we'll go from understable to, I guess we'll just start with molds. So I have 2 Quantum MSs. This one here with the Huck Lab die on it, it's been in my bag for at least 5 years now. It is a workhorse in my bag. Perfect, just hyzer flipped to turn over shots, hyzer flip to straight, depending on the wind. It's just the best mid-range for the woods that I have, and I just have just really good trust with it. To complement that is just another one that's clear, hard to find. I've struggled to find this on the course many times. I need to put a die on it, but this plastic just feels incredible, and it's these discs have got me so many birdies, and they've been the 2 mid-ranges in my bag for the last 5 years. This one's a little bit more overstable. We'll push straight. We'll get some turn in the wind, but I'm not really thinking that this is going to turn to the right unless I'm kind of putting it on the anhyzer line. These are really just point and shoot discs. They're so reliable and consistent. Next, I've recently put in this Champion J. I felt it when it released, and I was like, oh, this doesn't feel like a bad disc. I kind of want to try that in the future, and kind of shelved that for a while, and this was given to me by Matt Verity at D-Mart, and he just wanted me to try it just to compare it to my QMSs, and I've been able to get just about 20 to 30 more feet of distance with this J. It's just a little bit more torque resistant than my beat up QMSs. That's why I'm kind of in this transition stage where I'm looking for another new, fresh QMS. I just haven't quite found that one that I like, and this J fills that spot for me right now. And it's got a cool slow bro drawing on the back that I did myself. Next, mid-range, Quantum Solstice. This is probably my most thrown mid-range, and it's been in my bag since it released, I believe, 3 years ago. Perfect, straight to stable mid-range. It resembles that MD4 mold from Discmania from back in the day. And it's just, I don't know. I loved that mold when it came out way back when, and this disc has been just a vital disc in my bag because I need that mid-range where I can kind of throw on it hard and know that I'm going to get some fade, or just going to carry straight, depending, like what the wind scenario is. And this just really fits that spot. I would recommend this Quantum Solstice to anyone that's looking for just a very not overstable, but I guess I would say overstable, straight mid-range. You know it's going to dump at the end, but you'll get a straight flight on it once you get it up to speed. It's just a very reliable disc. And last, I have the Quantum, or I guess it's a Recon. Yeah, Recon Moab. So this is my most overstable fairway, or not fairway. It's kind of a hybrid between a fairway driver and a mid-range, I would say. It's like I think it's a 5-speed, or it might be a 6. But I just know this thing, it's going to go, it's going to dump, and it's going to skip. So very reliable. I know what it's going to do every single time, and it will fight any wind condition. I could throw it like this on a ton of anhyzer into the wind, and it will still find a way to swoop back. So very trustworthy disc here, the Recon Moab. Let's get into the fairway drivers. So I bag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 fairway drivers. They are easily the most thrown disc in my bag. I love that 7 to 9 speed range. It's very comfortable for hand feel. So let's just get started off with my 7 speed. So I got two 7-speeds here. First, it's a Leopard 3. This is a Luster Leopard 3 that's the Drew Gibson run from way back in the day, but really like this disc. I know what it's going to do, very straight, but it will also hold angles. So it's kind of just like a faster version of the QMS. I've been toying around with the JLS a lot more recently, and I think that's going to take this out of my bag. I hadn't quite beat up a JLS to the stability that I want, because they start out a little, or like the Quantum ones are a little overstable out of the box, and this is just very, very neutral disc. But I have one beat up now to where I think I can replace this, which is honestly excites me a lot, because I love the JLS, and it's just I currently don't have one in my bag, so I need to put one in. But so this is the Leopard 3. Next one is the Helio Vela. When this came out, it was a game changer in the Millennium lineup. We were kind of missing that 7-speed, consistent, like straight to fade fairway driver. We only had the EXPs, and I liked the EXPs, but their rim, there was just something about the rim to me. It was just a little uncomfortable. I did throw the EXP X a lot, where it was a little bit more overstable, but it was basically just a 7-speed Draco. This still overstable, but you can get more distance out of it. And I mean, the Quantum plastic complements the Helio very well. It just goes a little bit more further. And I've been toying around with putting one of those Quantum Velas back in my bag, because I have one of each run now, and I don't know. There's just so many discs I could play around here with the new Millennium molds, and I'm trying to cycle them in as much as I can. I say new Millennium molds; they've been out for a while, but it's nice to beat up a disc. I like to beat up a disc before I kind of put it in my bag, like for good. I know that's a weird thing, but I don't know. Putting a fresh, brand new disc in my bag, I need to go experiment with it first, if that makes sense. But getting on to the next fairway driver, we have the TL3. This is an all-around great disc. This is a halo plastic. It's really just, I would say, a slightly faster Leopard 3 with more stability. You just go straight, put it on whatever angle you want, and very trustworthy disc. I've had this one in my bag for quite some time. This is kind of the disc I've been thinking about replacing with Quantum Vela, because they're very similar. I haven't quite decided which Quantum Vela I like more. I used to throw the first contact, which I have one that's still fresh. I've only thrown a couple times, but then I've also been trying out the 1.2, and they're just different, little bit different flights, similar disc, but the 1.2 is a little bit straighter, I would say, than the 1.1. So I just haven't quite decided which disc is going to best replace this stability. So that's something that'll happen in the near future, most likely. But getting on to my 9 speeds, I carry 6 9-speeds. I have two of each, actually. So 2 Quantum Orion LFs. This is a 1.6, or this is a 1.7, and this is a 1.6. The 1.6, these are the more overstable of all the OLF runs, in my opinion. I have found this to be the most reliable in the wind. There's something about this, like this Quantum plastic, and just the way that what do you call it? The flight plate, and it's overstable compared to your normal Orion LF. Like this out of the box, the 1.7, much straighter, will still fade, but this is more of a dumping hyzer rather than this one will push straight. Luckily, I've had them both beat up, so this one's more of my hyzer flip, neutral Orion LF. That's just perfect 9-speed that I can throw in, almost any conditions other than super windy conditions. And then this one just complements it, being an overstable counterpart. Next two, I have 2 Dracos. One is a Lunar Draco. I think it's Lunar Quantum. but I could be wrong. This was the 2019 Calvin Heimberg run. I can't remember if it's because he won the national tour or not. The stamp is so faded. I've had this in my bag for 6 years now, five and a half years now. It's easily my favorite disc in my bag. The Draco, ever since it was released in the Millennium lineup, it was kind of one of the discs that drew me to, want to be on Team Millennium and accept that role when I was, Ash 7 years ago. They were telling me, Sean Wynn was telling me that they're going to come out with a couple new discs here in the near future, and I'd like to be along for the ride. And yes, I'm very glad that I joined for the ride, because the Draco, I would say, is probably one of the most popular discs in both Millennium and Innova's lineup at this moment. So many Innova pros are all throwing like Quantum Dracos because these are so overstable and consistent compared to like the Firebird counterpart, where, Firebirds are still good, don't get me wrong, but there are way more variations of champion Firebird that you have to kind of pick through. In a Quantum Draco, you kind of just grab one and you're like, man, I know what I'm getting from this. This is overstable. So I see why Innova pros have leaned on the Draco, because it's such a reliable fairway driver. My favorite disc in the lineup, 9-speed overstable. Check one out. And then I have two Champion Roadrunners. These are 9-speed disc, very straight. These have only been in the bag, or this one, this fresh tie-dye one, it's only been in the bag for a couple months now because I lost my Sirius Orion LS. Rest in peace. That was easily one of my top 3 discs in my bag. Just perfect hyzer flip disc. This is a good replacement for now, but it's still a little too overstable for what I'm wanting. So I'm still working with some Orion LSs right now. I have a new Helio one that I'm thinking can do the job, but I don't know. My heart still wants one of those old Sirius ones, so still on the lookout for one of those right now. And then this is just another Champion Roadrunner that's been in my bag for a little bit longer. I throw rollers with this one. I got it beat up already, so it feels a good hyzer flip spot to turn over. Good for tailwinds. Roadrunner is just a good disc. You can get it up to speed, and it goes over 400. So I would recommend that to anyone that's looking for a good 9-speed disc. And then finally, onto my distance drivers. I have 6 distance drivers in the bag. We'll just start off with this one. So I got a Champion Wraith. This is getting phased out of the bag with the ES2. I just haven't beat up my ES2 to where I need it quite yet for my forehands, because my forehand isn't as powerful as my backhand, of course, and this Wraith has done a very good job letting me hyzer flip forehands, get some turn out of it, and then also come back. The ES2, I'm still at a point where I'm getting a hyzer flip up to flat, but I'm not getting a little bit of turn yet, but I think that's going to happen within here the next month, that I'll make a little switch. But Star Wraith, good disc, loved for my forehands and backhand rollers. On the other opposite end of that is the Recon Sabo. This is the most overstable driver in my bag. I just like to call this the Draco's big brother. Fights all the wind you could ever want here in Oklahoma, and this Recon plastic, ever since I got it, is just beat up to be so nice and grippy, and it really hasn't lost stability from the first time I got it, which is just weird. It's like it beats up and gets more overstable. It's just such a flat disc, such a blunt edge. Will still travel far. You could put it on a flex line and it'll glide out. I recommend if you're looking for a very overstable kind of utility driver, Recon Sabo, perfect disc for you. And then I have 2 Sirius Quasars. So this is a 1.5 run, and this is the one following at 1.6. Millennium's run, so easy to tell what you want. This 1.6, probably my farthest flying distance driver in the bag. It's just, there's something about the small dome on the disc with the stiff flight plate that you just know you're going to be able to get the disc up to speed, get some turn, and it's going to be consistent with fade. This disc has been a workhorse in my bag over the last couple months. I only got this a couple months ago, and it's I took out a Scorpius because I was like, this Quasar is going to fill that spot, and it really has. It's been very dependable, both forehand and backhand, and yeah, I'd highly recommend this 1.6 Series Quasar to anyone that's looking for, I mean, the furthest flying disc in your bag. Once you get up to speed, unlimited glide, has so much potential. And then on the other end, 1.5. This is under the Recon Sabo, the most overstable driver that I have. I just know what this thing's going to do. It's got good glide, but it's also very overstable where it's just going to cut through the wind. I'm only really throwing this in very windy conditions because my other two, like the 1.6 and my Scorpius, will deal with other holes when I need it. But like if I need a good skip shot, I could rely on this. I mean, this is just, it's a good wind driver because I know what it's going to do. It's not going to turn. It's just going to be nice and straight with some fade. Very dependable. I have one Scorpius in the bag right now. Distance drivers, they come and they go in my bag because I just, depending on the wind and the course, I'll make some changes here as I go. But this is a Helio Scorpius. I've had this one in my bag since they released. This driver, I think, helped revolutionize the Millennium's distance driver lineup. We needed a new classic. We'd had the Sirius Scorpius for so long. The Helio was just such a good addition to the Scorpius lineup. This gave the mold overstable and glidey disc. Like this one compared to some of my, because I have some really overstable Sirius Scorpiuses, but they just don't have the glide that this one has beat up to with the consistent finish. So I really love this one, forehand, backhand, and this has probably been the most thrown distance driver in my bag for the last 3 years. So yeah, very trustworthy disc. Would recommend the Scorpius to anyone that's looking for a good distance driver. And you've probably heard of the Scorpius if you know anything about Millennium disc golf. So finally, last disc in the bag. This is the Helio Falcon. The Falcon, when it released, was, yeah, transitional, or it, yeah, it helped transcend the Millennium distance driver lineup. We didn't really have anything that was fast, stable, that would turn, but then also come back. So we had the Astra and Aries, stuff like that, that would really just turn and they were just understable. But this Helioplastic Falcon, it's a destroyer rim with a Shrike top, so you can kind of just tell. I mean, if you know anything about the Innova distance drivers, it's just going to be the perfect combination mold. This just like I would describe it as the Scorpius's like little brother, but it's faster. So easier to throw, but it goes just as far, if not farther, depending on how you throw it, of course. I love this for my sidearms. As someone that doesn't have, the most powerful forehand, this really fills that spot for me. Yeah, highly recommend the Falcon. I say that a lot here in this video, but I think a lot of people don't really know about the Millennium lineup. So there are really good discs in the lineup. A lot of people on tour throw these discs. I say a lot of people on tour, many Innova pros, out there. And then they've just been around. The consistency and the quality. It's why Millennium, has always been one of the best companies out there. So just want to say thank you, Millennium, for sponsoring me for 7th straight year. This has been a very fun journey, and I'm looking forward to the future. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.